Hello NYO-U, my name is Simon Luke Brown, and I'm speaking to you today to discuss the problem of how to be a good principal second violin. A little about me. I'm a 19-year-old violinist from Davis, Oklahoma. I also study composition and conducting on the side. This is my second year in the National Youth Orchestra. And in the fall, I will be going off to a little tiny private school in Michigan named Andrews University to study violin. Now, I am not, nor have I ever been, principal second violin in the National Youth Orchestra per se, but I have led a number of second violin sections over the years, and I think I may be able to offer some insight into this very unique orchestral position. Your job as principal second violin consists of 4 aspects. Number 1, understanding. Number 2, leading. Number 3, communication. And number 4, appreciation. Now, many of these tips apply to other orchestral principal positions as well, but today we're going to look at them specifically in the context of principal seconding. Component number 1, understanding. The first thing you should understand about your position is your rank, where you are in the chain of orchestral command. You are not God. The conductor is God. Do whatever he or she tells you. Their word is law, essentially. Now, if the conductor is God, then the concertmaster is Gabriel. Whatever they tell you, you have to do that, even though it may suck. I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. Your authority over the second violins depends on how much authority the concertmaster exerts over the violins and the strings as a whole. And this comes from kind of an old tradition that in any given passage, the instrument with the highest note leads. The next aspect for you to understand are your duties, or your job. Obviously, you have to lead the second violins, but there's a little more to it than that. For example, if the first violins are playing a melody, and you play an octave lower than they do, you not only have to lead your section, but also follow the concertmaster at the same time. Or at least make it appear as though you're following them, because actually they're listening down to you for intonation. You see, you're a stabilizer. And since your part is generally a little less difficult than the first violins, you have to be there for them in case things go haywire, which they will. Besides all that, your part may mirror the violas in inner voice playing, and you have to lead that while still following the melody over here. Be aware of what you're leading. The violas, the cellos, some weird divisi, anything could be happening. You have to be aware of it. That's part of your job. This leads us to your role. You're a subordinate leader. You have people to lead, but you still have a few to follow. That's a pretty thin line to walk. You're also the figurehead and representative of your section. If the entire section demands a certain bowing, even though you hate it, do it their way. The whole section will be happier if they like what they're playing. And also don't forget, you have a lieutenant to help you out. Sitting right next to you is your assistant or associate principal. Don't be afraid or embarrassed to ask them for advice or help. Their job is to help you do your job. Component number 2, leading. Leading in this instance will refer to 3 aspects: physical, mental, and, for lack of a better word, spiritual. The physical aspect refers to the cues you will give with your body. And these vary from person to person, so don't worry if yours looks different than somebody else. Here's kind of a spectrum. This is too little, and this is too much. Somewhere in that broad range of physical motion is probably fine. The mental aspect is what drives the physical aspect. Looking ahead in the music to see what needs to be cued, whether the music is loud, fast, rhythmically unsteady, and to see what kind of movements would help bring that out the best. The spiritual aspect is merely the character of the piece, thinking, how can I lead this passage to show the section, and even the audience, the best possible rendition of the conductor's interpretation? That's a question you will be asking your entire career. Component number 3, communication. Communication. That's a word that pops up frequently in music, and with good reason. You have a duty as a musician to communicate, but what does that mean in the context of principal seconding? First of all, it means communicate with the other section principals. As a member of this front row string quartet of the concertmaster, principal second violin, principal viola, and principal cello, you must communicate with them over balance, phrasing, and especially bowings. Oh, who gives out the bowings? Gabriel, or the concertmaster. Do the bowings that person gives you. Yes, I know they suck, but unless the entire violin section riots, you have to do them. And sometimes the concertmaster may not give you any bowings at all because the first violins don't have that part. In that case, theoretically, it's up to you to decide which bowings to do. This leads to the second point of communication, which is communication with your section. Whatever you and the other principals decide, make sure what they need to know gets passed back all the way to the back stand. Double check every once in a while to make sure that all the second violins have the necessary information and changes. The final aspect of communication is communication with the audience. This really is important for any musician, but it's especially important for you as a leader. Play with the mindset of making the audience's day better, and encourage your section to do the same. Remember, the audience has access via Google and YouTube to most music that exists, and they don't come to the concert hall just to listen. They come to watch. Give them something to watch, and they'll come back, and you might get paid. Component number 4, appreciation. Leonard Bernstein was once asked what the most difficult instrument in the orchestra to play was, and he responded without hesitation, the second fiddle. I can find plenty of first violinists, but to find someone who can play the second fiddle with enthusiasm, that's hard. And if we have no second violin, we have no harmony. So if you're a struggling principal second violin, chin up. Remember, you've got a tough job. So to recap, we have understanding your rank, duties, and role, leading from the mental, physical, and spiritual aspects, communication with the other principals, your section, and the audience, and finally, appreciation. Follow these tips. Remember that you're leading the most difficult section in the orchestra. Give it all you got, and before you know it, the orchestra will be reaping the rewards of your work. Thanks for watching this NYO-U video. I'm Simon Luke Brown. Until next time.